What am I gonna do? I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons just came out, and I'm so ready for it. I've got the game pre-ordered, I have my Nintendo Switch fully charged, but we're supposed to stay indoors. This is part of the quarantine. Well, maybe if I'm super careful. Maybe what I'll do is I'll keep my arms very, very covered. I'll bring some hand sanitizer. I'll do something like, maybe something normal like cover my hands in trash bags just to make sure that they're extra, extra safe. And, you know, I bet I have like some sort of helmet in the back of the closet to keep my face completely contained. Yeah, that seems like it'll be safe. Let's try that. Alright, babe. I'm going to get Animal Crossing.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.
Animal Crossing.
Okay, so I totally apologize for that goofy skit, but I'm just in such a good mood because of Animal Crossing. This is such a unique style of fun. What we have here is an adventure that doesn't really have a last boss. There are no game overs. You can't really fail at it, and yet it feels important to try and master it, to see and do everything. And today, what I want to do is try and go through the crafting, collectibles, and co-op that make this game such a unique gem. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, and we are reviewing Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch. So I've been playing this game for about 5 days now, and it's been pretty much non-stop. To be quite honest, I am very, very addicted to it. It just seems like there's so much to do every single hour on this peaceful little island getaway. So the story opens this time around with our character getting on a plane for a deserted plot of land in the middle of the ocean. Once you arrive, you get to set up your tent, meet your new neighbors, and get deeply into debt. You see, the main motivator in this universe is money. You know, that's pretty realistic, right? But here's the thing, when you start this game, you are incredibly broke, and since you managed to get to this perfect little paradise, well, of course that means you're now gonna have to owe somebody a lot of different bells. Bells are like the dollars of this universe. But here's the thing, actually getting that money, managing to pay off your debts, that's part of what's so exciting about it. Everything in this world is so cute, it's so freaking silly, and most importantly, it's really, really easy to do. For those who have never tried Animal Crossing, a big question I see is, okay, it looks like you're just wandering around and chopping down trees and stuff. What's exciting? How can this really be that enjoyable if you're not really doing anything in it? Well, think of a perfect society. You can pay off your debt by just pulling 1,000 weeds. I actually did that. At one point, I just put on a podcast and I wandered around this island enjoying the sights and sounds and pulled over 1,000 weeds and went and sold them to the store to get enough bells to pay another down payment on my house. Whenever you actually manage to settle your debts and get yourself back on a little bit of an even playing field, this is when the game really opens up. Collecting is a massive part of this game. As you go through this, you get a chance to do things like expand your house, get upgrades to the island, help out your neighbors, and even construct things like a giant museum with multiple exhibits on your tiny little island. Each of the upgrades to your little village, though, as much as they may seem like super, super tiny, they feel fantastic. This game, it just manages to sort of defy the imagination, because every time I hit that next milestone, I felt like I had done something truly extraordinary. Getting a chance to really explore these plots of land, to see ways to try and tinker with things, constructing my store, getting a chance to pay off that next big piece of upgrade. I mean, it makes it where it feels important because this is my island. Your experience whenever you play this game is going to be totally different because maybe you won't care about the things I care about. To me, what's most vital is trying to help out my cute neighbors. I got this bodybuilding frog and I got this cute little gothic dog girl who flirts with me a little bit too much, but getting a chance to log in every single day and meet my neighbors, help them out, give them conversations, and see some of the weird people that can suddenly wash up. Like, at one point I was on the beach and Gulliver, this is like a drunk seagull, showed up on my island because he'd fallen over hoverboard, and I had to help him rebuild his cell phone, that way he could call his friends to pick him up. It's one of those events that's so thrilling, despite the fact that not a lot is actually going on. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Animal Crossing is fun because it really kind of highlights the joyfulness of life, those times where you get to stop and smell the flowers. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is, of course, the co-op. I love multiplayer. I'm totally obsessed with multiplayer, but most specifically, couch co-op. The ability to sit down with your friends in the same room and play the same game on the same screen. I played hours and hours and hours of this game with a friend, and being able to really just see this in action, I was most curious about it, because this is one of the new ideas of the game. There has been multiplayer in previous Animal Crossings, but shared screen, this is something we haven't seen before, and it works pretty well. This does bring me to the one thing that I do think is a little bit of a problem, but we're going to address that here in a second. So the way this works is, whenever you turn on your Nintendo Switch, you essentially create an island. This island is now permanently on the Nintendo Switch. Even if other people log in and they're playing on the Nintendo Switch, they're on the existing island. So if you've been playing for like 100 hours and you've already managed to complete a big chunk of stuff, you've already constructed all the major buildings on the island, when your friends log on to your Nintendo Switch, those things are already fully set up. So when you're playing co-op, all you need to do is have a second person turn on a controller and they can hop in. Now, when you're running around the island, it works decently, but here's the issue. During couch co-op, there is a primary player and a secondary player, and the secondary person, which you can pass back and forth, you can choose who the leader is going to be, the secondary person is very, very powerless. They can't do much, especially because they don't have an inventory, which means that as I'm running around and managing to smash rocks and pick up wood and try and set things towards that next objective, my little buddy here, even though she is running around and trying her best, she is very, very held back. Since she doesn't have an inventory, everything she picks up just teleports to the item box, and it makes it where she can't really do much. We were able to pass things back and forth, but it made me wish that we could both have the full Animal Crossing experience on the same screen. That way, I don't know, it just seems logical to me that we would both be able to run around and do things and help each other accomplish our major goals. That way we could really kind of be in conjunction at improving the island. Let's talk about this though. I just want to get into the gameplay itself, because the best part about Animal Crossing is all the little things you can do. Fishing. Like, let's just talk about fishing for a second. I suck at it. It took me so long to just get good at this, and I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to make fun of me, but going around and trying to catch all these little underwater creatures, it takes some practice. You really do need to get good at trying to draw them in, throwing fish bait into the water, getting the biggest thing there, and then aiming your actual fishing rod to try and snag the beast, and then even trying to practice the exact perfect timing for yanking them out of the water. It's fun because you have to practice it. Nothing in this game is super self-explanatory. You actually need to tinker with it and try it out for yourself and get good at it. I like a game that encourages you to really figure things out completely on your own. If you ever get stuck trying to do something or you don't understand a certain concept, you can always ask the people who live on this island. These cute animals are also very happy to explain everything from exactly how much you can smash apart rocks to the energy meter, or even things like when I first got my slingshot, I had to ask somebody about how to use it because I wasn't exactly certain why I needed a slingshot, and still I started seeing all these floating presents over the island. There's so much fun stuff in Animal Crossing that adds together to the bigger whole. The biggest new concept, and the thing I think is probably going to keep people playing this the longest though, is definitely the Nook Miles. Now you have this little cute cell phone that has a bunch of little apps and stuff on it, but the main one is this thing called the Mileage Program, which is sort of like a bunch of daily quests. Whenever you log in, you get a chance to have all these fun unlockables, and it'll set a bunch of little tiny goals and major goals at once. Things like chop down 1 tree. Okay, so I did that, and then it'll be like, alright, now chop down 100 trees, or try and catch a bunch of bugs. Complete part of the museum. As you meet each of these milestones, you get more miles, which are like a special extra currency. Earning this stuff is very separate from the bells we were getting to try and pay off our debt. Mileage is more about unlockables. Using this will do things like expand your inventory, give you more hair color options, or just buying some of the coolest outfit like a really sweet backpack or a cool t-shirt or something like that. I really found myself enjoying the fact that there are these totally separate pieces of the universe. There's the bells, which I do need to try and constantly upgrade the island itself, but then with the mileage, I was using that to upgrade me, to upgrade my fun, to give myself like a special tool belt so I could quick select items, or sometimes just getting a plane ticket, that way I could visit somebody else. So the final thing I want to talk about is just very brief here, island hopping. This is so freaking fun. So whenever you're playing this, you get a special thing called a dodo code, which is like the GPS coordinates in this universe for your specific island. By telling your friends your dodo code, whenever they want, you can go to the airport and fly to visit a friend. Now the reason I like this is I was able to just tweet out, hey, tell me your dodo code, and a bunch of subscribers sent me their coordinates. I could fly directly to them and see these people running around on their island, picking fruit, having fun. Getting a chance to really see people and visit people instantly is such a treat. Already, there is a huge community that's being built up around Animal Crossing because it has such a nice social aspect. In this time period where we're all stuck at home and we're having to socially isolate, it's nice that I had this way to kind of just meet nice friends in a nice universe and enjoy a nice sunset. I absolutely loved Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I'm so blown away because I thought that this would be a decent sequel, but in actuality, this is a fantastic adventure that was definitely worth the $60 I spent on it. Okay, so we've heard some good, we've heard some bad, let's go over the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Animal Crossing New Horizons a 9.5 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching this, gamers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I want to say a special thank you to everybody who let me visit their islands. It was very, very nice of you. A lot of this footage was recorded co-op with subscribers. You guys are incredibly nice. Thank you so much for letting me roam around and steal a bunch of your items and stuff. You guys are so nice, and honestly, it made this a lot more fun to film. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.